Hello. I'm sure everyone watching this video knows what WWF RAW is, / was. But, did you ever see the very first episode of RAW? If not, then you're in for a treat, because today we are going to review the very first episode and save you the pain of watching that dreadful show.
I'm Chris.
And I'm Adam.
And the first episode of RAW was held on the 11th of January 1993 at the Manhattan Center in New York.
And it started off with a boy with brain Heenan outside with Shawn.
Basically, Brain's told that he's been replaced on the show with Rob Bartlett. Both men here put over the fact that it's live in New York City about 5 times.
We're live!
We get the point, guys. So the opening titles, we cut to Vince, Macho Man and Rob Bartlett at ringside, yet again putting over the fact that they're live in New York City.
We're live!
And the announcer card for the night. Yokozuna vs Koko Ware, the Steiners in tag team action, Shawn Michaels vs Max Moon, and the main event being Taker vs Damien Demento.
Yeah, the first match of the card, it is Yokozuna vs Koko Ware. Yoko comes out with Mr. Fuji. Fuji falls right into the crowd. Then Koko Ware comes out.
Are you sure it was rice? I thought it was salt, mate.
No, it was definitely rice.
Are you sure about that?
It was rice and salt.
Okay.
Anyway, what happens is, Koko Ware comes out next in his high energy tracksuit.
Shell suit, I'd say. Straight out of the 80s.
Yeah, it's pretty poor. And then it's pretty much a squash match. It's not your traditional squash match, however. It's not got a regular jobber. It's got Koko Ware, who's quite an established wrestler at this time.
You know, in the tag team with Owen Hart at the time, high energy.
Yeah, that's true. And
so it starts off with putting over Yoko's strength. He no-sells the shoulder block. Two drop kicks stagger him, but he then throws Koko in the ropes and hits a huge leg drop. Follows it with a corner splash and then a banzai drop for the win. You know, it's your typical squash, or a squash hollow as Macho Man refers to it as.
Yeah, then after the match, it cuts to a Bobby the Brain Heenan promo, which is a bit weird seeing as we've just seen him outside the building and he can't get in.
Although Vince did mention it was by videotape and not live.
I wasn't really paying attention. Sorry about that, folks. Yeah, so basically Heenan's putting over his new guy, Narcissist, as he puts it, and he's building up a match against Mr. Perfect, and he's saying, Perfect, you better watch out for Narcissist. Obviously, people watching this will probably know that it was Lex Luger who he's talking about, so I wasn't really paying attention during this. I don't have much time for Lex Luger, and well, I don't care less.
So the next match we have the Steiner Brothers tag team action taking on the Executioners, basically a jobber team at the time made up of Barry Hardy and Dwayne Gill, of course, the late fan successors of Goldberg and knockoff Gillberg. So the Steiners control the early stage of the match. Meanwhile, Doink the Clown is seen goofing around in the background all the way through the match. Seems a bit pointless, really. Bartlett and Vince both botch calling him Dork. It takes them a few minutes to realise the mistake. So Scott starts out in the ring with Executioner 1 with some power moves, and it's a nice tilt-a-whirl slam. He tags in Rick, who nails a couple of punches before the Executioners get their only offence of the match so far, a single punch. A hard Irish whip followed by a hard clothesline and snake eyes. The Executioner rolls out where Scott smacks both of their heads together and throws the second Executioner into the ring. Rick hits a power slam, tags back in Scott, who hits an overhead belly to belly, tags out, and Scott then hits a double underhook powerbomb and followed with a Steiner Bulldog for the win.
Yeah, basically in this match the Steiners just bullied the Executioners, quite a lot of heavy offence on their stiff shots, and you can tell they're just a bunch of jobbers. And
yeah, although it was a squash, I did think it put over the Steiner strength quite well. I mean, squashes aren't always pointless, but I mean, too much so far, 2 squashes, it's not looking good so far.
Yeah, my point was the Steiners just looked like they were taking liberties on the jobbers and just being heavy-handed.
Yeah, we found it quite ironic, that Rick Steiner, controlling wrestler who went on to play a rip-off of Goldberg. Pretty funny, that. Then we go outside the arena yet again. Bobby Heenan dressed in drag, trying to get into the arena, saying Rob Bartlett's arm. Absolutely pointless.
To be fair, I thought this was quite humorous, especially for the time, 1993. Bobby the Brain Heenan dressed as a woman trying to get in the arena. Made me giggle a little bit, but could done right, I suppose. Then there's the the Razor Ramon interview, where they're basically setting up a match for the Rumble, Bret Hart versus Razor Ramon for the world title. It shows a clip of Ramon beating on Owen Hart from, what was it?
I think it was Mania on the Saturday morning programme.
Yeah, Saturday morning Mania, not to be confused with WrestleMania, of course.
Razor basically says in the promo, it took Bret 8 years to get where he is, but he did it in only 8 months. It's not really a bad build-up. Finished the promo by saying he's going to win the title, as he does.
Yeah, it shows that Scott used to have talent, really. It's quite nice to see. Obviously, it went downhill in the end.
So then we have IC title match, Shawn Michaels versus Max Moon.
Actually, I'll start talking about this match because I've got to say, I know you have a different opinion on this, but I like the IC title belt that Shawn Michaels had. Was it a light blue one or something? It looked really good.
I thought it looked cheap, personally.
Well, I thought it looked cool. But yeah, basically it was a decent match. It was a back and forth match. It wasn't a squash match like the other two. A nice seated sent onto the outside by Max Moon, i.e. Paul Diamond, aka even. And yeah, Shawn Michaels hit the super kick, which Max Moon got out from, but then he ended it with his own finisher.
The teardrop suplex, like leading up, plenty of reversals. Not a bad match, not a bad finish. But I mean, although it was a good match, they totally ruined it really. Bartlett with a fucking ridiculous Mike Tyson impression, taking up at least 4 or 5 minutes of the match. And then yet again we get Doink messing around ringside. It was just pointless. It took away from the action, and to be fair, it's probably the best match on the card. So I didn't like that at all.
Yeah, after the match, obviously HBK kept the title. It cuts to some Rumble promos. There's one with Marty Jannetty. He's got a match against Michaels at the Rumble for the IC title. One of Mr. Perfect's, where he basically puts over the fact that he says he's going to win the Rumble. And then Yokozuna, where Mr. Fuji basically says that Yoko is going to win the Rumble.
And then after this, guess what? We have another segment outside the building. I wonder who's trying to get in. Yeah, this time it's Brain dressed up as a rabbi, claiming he's Bartlett's uncle. Nice little dig there. And then we cut to a video of Kamala taking out Kimchi after he attacked the Rev Slick and Harvey Whippleman. Absolutely pointless.
Yeah, this was a bit strange. Basically, just put in a taped video package out of nowhere that wasn't relevant to anything.
I mean, the main selling point of Raw was the fact that it was in front of a live audience with live angles, live promos. And this kind of reverted the show back to the primetime wrestling days. It just seemed totally out of place, really, in line with the new package we were trying to put forward.
Then, next up, the main event: Undertaker versus the fierce competitor Damien Demento. Not got anything to say about this match.
Not really. I think the best point was when Rob Bartlett clearly had no idea who Paul Bearer was, leading to probably the best comedy moment of the evening. Vince McMahon saying Paul Bearer from the famous Bearer family.
Not to be confused with Yogi Berra, of course.
Shocking.
Yeah, after basically it's a quick squash match. Undertaker wins. After this, there's an interview with Doink. Finally, after he's been faffing around in the crowd through the duration of Raw, then Crush comes out. Basically, he's miffed with Doink for some reason, which I can't remember, and chases him around the ring. Doink gets away, and
Crush nearly falls over the ring steps again, which is pretty funny.
Yeah.
But then again, we cut to the backstage / outside the building where Heenan is finally allowed in.
Great. That was the first episode of Raw. It wasn't too great.
No.
I don't recommend it.
No.
Anyway, tune in for our second episode, which will be coming soon.